you didn't see you there. Oh, don't mind me, it's just I heard there's gonna be a risk of rain. You get it? Because the game... Now I'll be honest, I don't really like roguelikes. They're too difficult to get into, and while I do see why people like games like Gungeon and Nuclear Throne, they just weren't for me. But then I played Risk of Rain 2, and holy shit is that game fucking fun! Now before we can talk about Risk of Rain 2, we have to talk about what came before, that being Risk of Rain 1. Now, you can play Risk of Rain 2 even without playing the first game. It's just I'm going to talk about the first game to provide more context to the second game, as there are some important details that travel between both games. But if you don't want to know about Risk of Rain 1, then you can just skip ahead when I talk about Risk of Rain 2. You don't need to know this information if you don't want to. You see, long ago there were two gods named Providence and Mithrix. Providence really likes nature and has a worm kink, categorizing him as the neighbor's kid. Meanwhile, Mithrix is going through his rebellious phase, so he proceeds to go to the I am 14 and this is deep subreddit, and exclusively listening to Billie Eilish, resulting in him losing his soul like most Redditors, and giving him the title of Trenchcoat Kid. But one day, Mithrix decided to throw worms into a gravity well, and let's just say Providence didn't take it so well, and proceeded to imprison Mithrix on the moon. Because of this, Mithrix threw a temper tantrum and pulled a Michael Jackson, becoming white. Meanwhile, Providence decides to live on Petrichor 5, which basically is Space Australia, where he keeps all of his endangered species he's kidnapped, because he loves nature. Providence, getting bored, decides to order same-day shipping on Amazon at 11:59 p.m., causing mass panic, resulting in the ship crashing. This is where you come in. You play as one of the surviving Amazon employees, tasked to deliver the package to Providence, which is death. But Providence, a lot like PETA, broke the Wilderness Act of 1964 by forcing endangered species to fight for him, making Risk of Rain 1 the Dark Souls of Risk of Rain. But eventually you succeed, and you get to go home. If you want to know more about Risk of Rain 1, then go play it yourself, because I'll be talking about Risk of Rain 2 for the rest of the video. Now I know that Risk of Rain 2 looks a bit sus compared to their roguelike brothers and sisters, but that's because they changed the quality settings from 144p to 180p.
Wow, it's just like real life, man. What the?
But I digress. In Risk of Rain 2, the pre-sequel, Jeff Bezos decides he wants more money, and sends more Amazon employees to Petrichor 5 to collect packages that were lost in the American mail system. And maybe other survivors, you know, if they aren't fucking dead. You play as one of 11 Amazon employees. Matt Damon, Eye Candy 1 and 2, McCree, Autobots Roll Out, Fungus Fetish, Virgil,
What the dog doing?
Lantera, and Captain. He's old. Each character has their own unique abilities. Some swoop, some goop, and some shoot. There's also a difficulty setting, ranging from easy to God please kill me. Once you pick your character, you will then get shot onto the planet. This is where the masochistic fun begins. Once you land on the planet, you will immediately start fighting enemies ranging from rock monsters, bugs, and whatever the hell this thing is, and literal time. For you see, if you look at the top right of your screen, you can see a timer. In the words of a smart guy I once knew, as time increases, so does difficulty.
Sun Tzu said that.
Moving on, once you kill an enemy you get money, because capitalism, which you can use to open up chests, which contain items that can help you and your character. Each item does something different, having their own unique effects and lore. That's right, we got Dark Souls level of lore. Some items allow you to heal every single time you hit something, some allow you to jump higher, and others make enemies bleed better, even if sometimes it doesn't really make sense. Not only that, but you can also just stack items, so you can have 10,000 attack syringes and just rapid fire. Just don't pick up shield generators, they're completely useless. Once you're done running around killing endangered species for their money, like a madman, you then have to locate the teleporter. Once you find the teleporter, you activate it and then kill the boss, which will allow you to access the next stage. Rinse and repeat until you die or get to the end, or ends. We'll talk about that later. This gameplay loop alone, while simplistic in design, is fun and interesting. Every run you do is completely different depending on the RNG or what type of character you choose. But that's not all, it gets deeper. You're probably wondering what those purple things are under my money bar. Well, those are lunar coins. Lunar coins are useful for the lunar shop, which is a place you can visit when you buy a teleporter, which you can find somewhere around the map. But you're probably wondering, where can I find lunar coins? Well, you see, it's a bit complicated, because enemies have a 0.5% chance of actually dropping just a single lunar coin, which is bullshit! And because it's such a rare drop, it's normally a race for whoever can get it first. So if you want some lunar coins, you might have to turn to some more shadier options. Like modding the game to give yourself a lot of lunar coins. I mean, I don't care, you can do whatever you want. Once you got your lunar coins, now you can enter the lunar shop. Here you can buy items from this weird lizard thing, but be warned, all the items here are double-edged swords. For an example, one item can give you more gold, but the downside is it basically turns you into a gold piñata. Another item, which is my personal favorite, is Purity, which reduces your cooldowns on your abilities. And no, I don't have an addiction to Purity. Don't listen to what they tell you. I can stop whenever I want. You can't stop me! You can also go to the Void. What's the Void, you may be asking? Well, it's a place where time stops. Here you have to fight waves of enemies, similarly like you do in the other levels, except there's a catch. After each wave, you, as well as the enemy, get an item, which makes it a lot harder to get through each wave. But don't worry if you can't do it. You can always leave whenever you want. But I recommend you stay, because if you stay, you get a pretty cool red item. So, you know. Good. Just pray to God that the enemies don't get an unstable Tesla coil. Major spoilers ahead. I repeat, major spoilers ahead. Turn back if you don't want to hear some spoilers. Now for the endings. There's 4 in total, and only in one of them you actually survive. And after doing some calculations, I can say for sure, I like those odds. The first ending you're probably going to get is to the moon and back ending, which you get when you play the game normally, until you get to the moon. You see, Mithrix, after his brother died, decided to spend his time studying philosophy, which opened his second eye, deciding that speed equals war, and war never changes. So you kill him, and escape in the only escape shuttle on the planet, and get to watch the moon explode. The second ending you'll get is Goodnight Moon. This ending is basically like the first one, only you fail to escape the moon because you suck.
Hey, you. Finally awake.
The third ending you get is called Into the Void. In this one, you refuse to leave the hunter's dream, and you keep on killing and killing and killing and killing until you see a black portal, in which case you go through. And you'll be thrown into Minecraft's end dimension, where you're forced to do Minecraft parkour, and you'll need to finish it if you want to get to the end. Don't worry about the end dragon though, it's already been killed. You can tell because of the eggs. Just try not to fall off like my friends did. Once you finish the parkour, you can go up to the monument and obliterate yourself. The fourth ending is a secret ending, Heaven and Hell. You'll need a special item to unlock it, which you can find in the lunar shop. This one basically goes the same as the third one, except you continue after you obliterate yourself, and fight whatever the hell this thing is in the afterlife. Once you do that, you get to see a little secret. And that's about it. Final thoughts? Let's see. Game's good. Don't Google individual characters and look at images. Trust me, you don't want to see that. Not even the funny lizard with glasses is safe. And Purity is the best lunar.
Stop it. Get some help.